Hello, my name is Maureen Pace, and I'm the president of the World Trade Center Dublin and Webport Global. I want to use this opportunity to thank you for being part of our extensive global network. And as a valued member, we would like to offer you exclusive access to the following impactful three-part webinar series entitled eCommerce for SMEs, How-To and Best Practices. As you prepare for export and expand your global footprint, your e-commerce business strategy is critical to ensuring your success in the fast-growing trade market. A recent McKinsey study estimated that 1.8 billion people will enter the consuming class by 2025, annually spending $30 trillion. With broader internet availability, buyers will have better access to businesses all over the world. Companies just like yours. Our expert, David Christoffi, founder of One Site Software, will navigate you through a three-part series to help you sell online. The first in the series is preparing your product for online sales and choosing the right platform, followed by site structure. And the third and final part of the series will be basic site design, branding considerations, marketing your site, and getting started. Thank you again for being part of our extensive international trade ecosystem and letting us help you successfully grow your business worldwide. We look forward to having you join us for this important series.
Hello, my name is David Christoffi from One Site Software, and this is the e-commerce for small medium enterprises, how-tos and best practices. As we mentioned in session 1, selling online is becoming even more of a necessity than ever before. But how do you get started? The topic can feel difficult. This part 2 of 3-part series, where we dive in a bit further, break it down into digestible pieces, and outline helpful planning and preparation to help you get started. The main learning objectives of this series is to familiarize those new to the topic so you can feel comfortable getting started. We reference a lot of information from many other third-party services and companies in the business in order to create the series. There's a lot of information out there on the internet, and sifting through it can feel daunting. The how-tos and best practices we've discussed here are not proprietary, so to be helpful, we provided the links to all the materials used to develop these sessions at the bottom of each slide. You'll see those links, and we'll post the slides for you so you'll have access to those. Today, we'll be discussing site structure. So let's start in on site structure by looking a little at the bigger picture before diving in. Some initial key considerations we'll cover include deciding upon using a single page or multi-page site design, thinking about the main site structure and sections, such as homepage, product details, company details, commerce details, etc. And then we'll discuss a little about on-site site structure best practices. Deciding between single page and multi-page design can be tricky. With mobile and social media browsing on the constant rise, simple, speedy, and responsive single-page websites are among the most popular web trends lately. On the other hand, multi-page websites defined by traditional navigation flows are well known and trusted by users. The best way to choose between a single page and a multi-page design is to consider the type and amount of content the navigation flow or your site will require. Will your site's content be quick and easy to browse? Or is there lots of content or many product categories that need to be strategically placed and organized for users to find? With a content-first approach, your web design, you're most likely to pick the right navigation system for your website. Simple is going to be better, but you also need to make sure you cover the most important basic needs of providing the necessary information to your buyers so they can make informed decisions. Keep in mind, single page doesn't literally mean a single page. You still have sections, and these sections are easily navigable from header links and/or a menu. It's just that all the sections are in line and the user scrolls down or clicks navigation links to view them all. You could even have a small number of drill down pages that hang off the site, much like a typical multi-page site. No matter what, certainly the shopping cart and purchase experience will be separate too, but for the most part, scrolling top to bottom provides the full experience. This route also reduces the additional effort necessary to round out the mobile experience. We'll talk about that a bunch later. If you're hazy on whether single page or multi-page design is the way to go for your site design, look at some sites, some examples of both. Consider your needs and the volume of content you have, the number of products, etc. And you can look at the attached links as well to get a better feel. A lot of examples hidden in there. But let's start by talking about sections. We'll start structure here by talking about sections. The key best practice is to create a clear navigation. There are few things more annoying than not knowing how to browse an online store. Creating a clear navigation for your site can be complicated, especially if your site has hundreds of products or more, or if you have many product categories. Here's what you need to do. First, grab a spreadsheet or a sheet of paper and create a site map to your website. It may look something like the example on the screen here. You could even use tools like Glue Maps or Figma, for example, to create visual site maps. Online tools such as these sometimes have free options and are very helpful to get started. Once you've drawn up your site map, ask yourself, do these sections, pages, categories make the most sense? Is there a better way to arrange them to make it easier to navigate, more clean or simpler, logical? Will my value proposition be easily communicated with this flow? The key to remember is be clear, not clever when it comes to navigation. Naming a category puppy food is much better than puppy's banquet in most situations. One easy way to get started in considering all this is, again, drop into one of the website platforms we discussed last session and play with a few of the templates. Use 3 or 4 of the site templates. Take note of how they lay out the information and present it, what you like more and what you don't. At the same time, when you do this, keep an eye out and how those sites take care of things such as the following. Breadcrumbs. How do they use breadcrumbs to help narrow down and help provide a better user experience for your user? Top level navigation buttons or links. Take note of how they do that, or the things that you like more or less. The specific menu design with both PC and mobile experience in mind. It's different. Search bar usage, etc. Look at how they do all these things, see what you like, see what you don't, and it'll give you a better feel for what you would want. Let's look at some considerations and best practices more generally about site structure now. Let's consider the use of the word menu for main site and mobile. This is target site. Generally, main navigation should be visible whenever possible, meaning you should have the necessary, if you have the necessary screen real estate, use it. Show all the menu options if you can, but for mobile or in tight situations where you don't have a lot of space, collapsible menu navigation can be useful. But it also should be reserved for mobile use. Saying menu rather than showing a hamburger icon is somewhat antiquated in terms of being a best practice. People by now generally know what the hamburger icon is for, and so you should use that. You should also consider saying the word menu for a restaurant may not be the right thing to do. Now onto breadcrumbs. Always remember that you should leave breadcrumbs and use them whenever you can. Remember the old tactic of leaving breadcrumbs along the trail so you can find your way back? That's where this term comes from. You're showing people exactly where they are at any given time and giving them the option of going to a specific other spot in your site. Here's 2 examples from a t-shirt company and Best Buy. Not only are breadcrumbs great for users, they're also great for Google and search engine optimization. While Google will sometimes create their own breadcrumbs, using navigation with breadcrumbs increases your chances of getting them. At the top of the screen, look at the search results without breadcrumbs, then notice the search result with breadcrumbs. As you can see, one is a long URL, the other is a simple navigation with a sideways with a greater than sign in between each breakdown. This is marginally helpful for users, but it's also a big help for Google's crawl bots to navigate your site. This should improve your site's crawl rate, which is the speed at which Google crawl bots scroll your site, but it also creates a stronger topical relevance for your site, which Google cares a lot about, and which you'll too see as we get into that later on in the next session. Breadcrumbs can increase time on page and decrease bounce rate, since users can easily go to another page whenever they want. And this is also another ranking factor that ranks you higher with search engine optimization. Long story short, breadcrumbs are good, use them. The site development platform you choose will have a way to help include breadcrumbs. Poke around in the templates, see how it's done, and definitely use it if you can. So now on to hero images. Hero image consideration is definitely another best practice, but what is a hero image website or a hero image generally? A hero image is a large, oversized web banner image that is pinned to the header section of the web page, usually toward the top of the page. Because of its prominent place in the site's visual hierarchy, the hero header is often the first thing users see when arriving on a website. Often lending context to a specific feature or content block, it's important that the hero header be positioned in close proximity to the content that it relates to. Why should you use a hero image on your website? Let's look at that a little bit. A study from a company called Conversion 11 says it only takes about 50 milliseconds for users to form an opinion about a website. That's why you need to make sure your site is easy to read, clear, and delightful. Using a hero image is a good way to ensure users can identify with and relate to your site. Large hero images grab the user's attention as soon as they land on the page. They help users identify the brand's unique selling points and help them form an opinion about the brand as soon as the page loads. Many website designers create hero images using photos of real human faces. This helps designers also to personify users, as well as enable users to relate to the brand. In an attempt to create a more personalized experience for web users, some designers opt for animated hero images, perhaps using videos, sliders, or carousels. This helps draw users in as soon as they arrive to the site homepage and makes the experience that much better for them. Makes it feel handcrafted. With all the benefits of hero images website, it's no wonder they've become such a popular website trend as of late. Remember these few key summary points about hero images, and it's similar to the guidance we talked about with value propositions in the last session. Should be short, sweet, and to the point. You want to consider the voice of your customer and consider the voice of your brand. You're going to be serious, or you're going to be playful, or something in between. You want to consider your target audience. What are their needs, and how can you grab their attention? Could be a compelling statement, image, or even a video. The hero image should also, when possible, include a call to action, a contact to buy, learn more, sign up for a newsletter, etc. How a website is designed directly influences how a user feels about the brand behind the site. Using a hero image on your site can help establish trust among new visitors and even convert them into customers by helping them buy into your site's concept. Sounds great, but still, what makes an awesome hero image? Let's look at a few examples. Many experts have recently started recommending skipping the interactive carousel, however. There are mixed reviews and feelings about it, as if it's not done right, it detracts from the site experience. Here's a hero image website showing a super gradient. Gradients are making a comeback. We're seeing more and more multi-tone effects on website homepages, particularly in large hero headers. Take this example, for instance. Creating gradients involves the gradual blending or transition between colors, mimicking distance from or proximity to a light source. In big header design, it's common to use super gradients, which transition between two or more colors, as is exemplified here. Gradients allow web designers to make more colors available by creating more color tones. They can help to make a bold statement, create a mood, and channel user emotions. To make the on-screen elements they're combined with and make them more memorable. And this is all perfect for hero website images. Here's an example of a background video. Using video is a great way to create dynamic headers that attracts and keeps users engaged. A publication called How to Get to Online explains it this way. Watching a simple movement in motion can create a tremendous impact on how users will perceive and engage with your brand. In fact, statistics shared by Forbes show that embedding a hero background video can help boost your conversion rates from visits to sales by 80% and influence customers' purchasing decisions by 90%. In this example, property development company Ditto Residential uses a simple series of full-width video clips in their header area. The header reads, "Building places that inspire," and the video clips show instances of homepage and office light. Here, the video is a way to demonstrate the product, allowing visitors to visualize what it might be like to live in or work in these types of properties. This is a product-first background. I'm sure you recognize it. Sometimes the hero image makes the whole website. When a product is well known, or when visitors know what they've come to your site to see, it's the hero image's time to shine. Product-first images are images that show off a particular feature or top-selling product, much like Apple does. Apple tends to use chromeless images. These images aren't full screen, but they are borderless and have a clear background. They are either fixed in position or float to a specific location on the page. Backgrounds tend to be white with contrasted near black header text to accompany. Here we see a graphic and illustration usage. Most hero images you'll see online are photographs. However, another approach to consider is using illustrations. Colorful, textured illustrations help to explain a theme or establish a motif, as well as to decorate your hero space. And they give you more control over the image specifications. In this example, the illustration provides visual reference to what the site offers in order to help the user understand and buy into the concept. A call to action is key. Often, the header will contain a call to action. When this is the case, it's important to have visual harmony between the hero image, the content, and the call to action button. When content is placed on the top of a hero image, designers usually adjust the contrast of the image. This is to ensure that the content is readable and the call to action button is located and used. In this example, the hero image lends design support by enhancing the user flow and leading to the call to action button, which is placed front and center. The image has been darkened so that it simply complements the white text, light green call to action button on the top. The trick that's used here is to darken the photo and lighten the type. That should give you something to think about in terms of key characteristics and key elements that help reflect and convey the message you need. Now let's move on to the more traditional content of the site, the main body and product information. The main purpose of your site is to communicate what your company sells and present your products for purchase. Some sites will have a substantial men section that deliver information about your company. Others will be thinner in general, but all will have product information. When considering the content for your main body section and also product pages, remember these key points. And remember what we talked about in the last session around value proposition. Tell a compelling story. Why should your audience care about this product? What benefits does this product offer that the competitors do not? Include sufficient product information. Describe what the product does and how it works. 3 to 5 key features. Are there different product options? What's the benefit to each? Maybe you want to use a table to help compare and contrast. Include customer references and quotes if available. Include external references such as articles and studies if you have. You don't need all of those things, but those things are basically all things that round out a great product description, and it's different for each product. Having the right product information is key, especially since this is your product commerce site. Buying a product online is status quo now. Consumers are trained to look online for the exact product that they want and to trust that a mysterious business somewhere out there will deliver their package. However, today's customers use a specific set of information to help them decide whether the online products they want should be purchased from you. Great product communication comes down to these 3 points, which we'll address quickly. Visuals. Shoppers want pictures. Ideally, your product images should be high quality and high resolution and showcase the product from a variety of different angles. They also want a detailed product description. Using your value proposition to guide your language choices, think about whether you're offering a detailed enough product description. Is someone more likely to buy an elegant black dress or an ink black sleeve dress with an elegant boat neck flattering A-cut line, and eye-catching handkerchief hemline, which falls below the knee? Product specs. If the products you're selling have specifications and any kind of specs, make sure they're listed. Often they come directly from the manufacturer and they help customers answer simple questions. Someone purchasing a couch, for example, can refer to the spec to determine whether the couch will fit in their living room. Always include a contact section. It provides a way for your customers to reach out to you for support with the product, not just to contact you about buying it. It's often little more than a simple contact form, phone number, and email. It could even be a chat bot or customer service plugin, like the little bubbles you see oftentimes in the bottom page of the websites. Most, if not all, the example tools and platforms that we talked about in session 1 of the series provide easy plugins to design forms and widgets that'll help you, that should help make putting a contact form on your site straightforward. Some other considerations include links to social media. These are important marketing tools, as we'll see in the next section, and can boost your Google ranking. Considering the current climate, adding a COVID-19 banner will also boost your position on Google. You want to be concise. Studies show you have about 7 seconds to make a potential client care before they leave your site. And don't be afraid of white space. Which font you choose is relevant. Make sure it's big enough. Next best practice to pay attention to, make sure your page loads quickly. These days, people are impatient. Bounce rates and site abandonment skyrockets after websites loading start to take more than 3 seconds. Up to 38% of the people will drop off if it takes 5 seconds. You could reduce that rate to just 9% if you can get your page to load in just 2 seconds. You can check your page load speed for free with some tools that are available online like Pingdom or Google's Page Speed Insights. Both tools give you recommendations on how to improve your performance. And finally, it's the 21st century. You need to have a responsive website. As mentioned in the last section, last session rather. Responsive design is really about window resizing and whether you need to redesign your site to fit different screens. Mobile internet usage surpassed desktop usage worldwide in 2016. At that point in the US, desktop was still beating, but no, mobile was close behind. It's surely eclipsed by now. That means nearly half the US population is primarily using mobile phones. There's no doubt about it. Your site has to be responsive and pay attention to mobile screen size. And again, the tools we've talked about usually make that pretty easy. So that's all for this session. I hope you now have a better feeling for laying out your site structure. And now on to our third and final session. In that session, we will cover basic site design and branding considerations, marketing your site and products, and summarize everything and help you get started. Thank you for your time. I look forward to seeing you in session 3.